Kwame Mahama in 2013. Before that, we had just tourism ministry, we had chieftaincy and culture. Even before it was tourism ministry during Kufuor's time, it was tourism and modernization of the capital city. So Mills's time, it became tourism alone. We had chieftaincy and culture. And people were like, oh, the art was missing somewhere. Some even said we needed art and entertainment ministry alone. So there were campaigns and advocacy by industry stakeholders during that time. But we had the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art in 2013. And I remember the minister for that ministry was Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare, a lawyer, and the deputy was Jifa Abla Gomashi. That was between 2013 and 2017. Now, the name of the ministry changed when Nana Akufo-Addo assumed power, changed from Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts to Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. That's the change. We brought the arts forward and took the culture back and took away the creative. All right. Now, during Nana Akufo-Addo's first term, that Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture, was headed by Catherine Afeku, with Dr. Ziblim Idi as Deputy Minister. Prior to this, there were also campaigns to push one of our own to the deputy ministerial position. Ango Francis, yeah. I remember how Ango Francis wrote articles against one of the candidates. So there were names like Kojo Entry of GTDC. There were names like Socrates Safo, Mark Krokumante. Mark at that time said he wasn't ready. But Socrates was one person who was doing the campaign. Somebody like me and Arnold, we campaigned for him. And then Don Doku said it was classless. He said it was a classless campaign. Okay, so we had Dr. Ziblim. He was chosen from academia, right? He was a lecturer, political science, for that position. And so he was on till sometime in 2019. Catherine Afeku was taken off. And then we had Barbara Otinjesi. Yes, still with Ziblim as deputy minister. In the second term of Nanado, we had Dr. Awal Mohammed as minister and our very own Mark Okrekumante as deputy minister. Even during that time, the deputy ministerial appointments, there were campaigns for some people. We had names like Kwesi Ajima. We had names like Juliet Asante. We had a name like Obo during that time. But Mark was chosen for the task. Today, we are thinking about who becomes our minister, not deputy minister, minister. And some people say they want somebody from the creative industry to become Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture. Others say, you don't need to be a creative to head this ministry. But we're here to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the discussion. 05511119997. This is Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and I'm here with men who are going to get into Mahama's head today and tell us who is going to be the minister. Let me welcome into the studio Francis Doku. He is COO of Plugging Digital Limited and host of Africa Rising podcast. Uncle Francis, piao.
Piao, bro.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
You had fun?
Yeah, I tried. It was still a hectic period, you know. We're just done elections, and you were thinking about things that will happen. I mean, if there's anything I was happy about, the fact that the election didn't go for a second round.
Oh yes, yes.
So we could spend Christmas, and we did, and I think it was a very good one. And thankfully, we are in here. Now we are just at a point where a minister for tourism will be named.
We will get there. We will get there. That's a meal for today.
Yeah.
Now let me introduce Seven Xavier. He is president for Ghana Music Alliance. Also right here with us. Seven. Yeah. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Did you attend any event during the season?
I think I met you somewhere once.
Yeah, so
We met somewhere.
I forgot
once.
it, but somewhere.
That was the only one. Yeah, somewhere. I got you.
Yes. Yeah. Now let me come to Jesse Ejapon, who is a marketing consultant. He is an entrepreneur. He is a brand expert. I think if I say I won't mention, I'm going to mention plenty. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Fantastic.
I'm doing great,
fantastic.
and I hope you had a good time during the holidays.
I think it's one of the most amazing Christmas periods that I've ever had.
Wonderful.
I think it was really great, and I thank God for life and everything.
Wonderful. All right. So now that we're starting, we want to set down some, parameters, some, if you like, indicators. We want to set down some things that we're going to use to maybe determine who is going to win, be nominated for this Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art position. So let me start with you, Francis Doku. What do you think are the qualities that should be considered in picking somebody for Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture position?
Thank you so much, Kwame. I think, and if I
without mentioning names, we want to set
sure.
before we continue.
if I'll be permitted, I just want to say that
Yes, please.
the inauguration, that we had on 7th January, I think I just want to mention the colorful nature of the fashion. I mean, because we're talking,
Exactly.
tourism.
Yeah.
I think the colorful nature of the fashion, the costumes, the clothes that people wore. I don't know if a memo was sent around to people and
It
say
was
that
really beautiful.
it was so beautiful. Like everybody who stepped out to go and celebrate the inauguration went very hard as far as clothing and style and fashion was concerned. And I think it put us out very well. I mean, I have friends across the continent who saw photos, videos, and were very they were praising us for showing such good fashion. And so I think we have to commend ourselves as Ghanaians for always putting ourselves out in that manner. I remember the AFCON last year, how we showed up. We won the fashion and lost the football, but it's all good. I mean, and I think that anytime we go out, we try to put ourselves in. I must commend everybody who showed up very well, and also, I mean,
the president's outfit.
The president's outfit was fantastic. Very fashionable, had meaning to everything that was on what he wore and part of what he wore. So I must commend us and commend everybody who played a role in making sure that we had a very good inauguration. So coming back to what criteria we should look at. For me, it's very simple. I think the first criteria would be who the president believes would properly, drive his mandate as far as tourism is concerned. I believe all the people that the president would appoint in every sector, in all the 23 ministries that the statesman today said have been outlined, I think if you look at who best fits his agenda and who would deliver that mandate that he had assured the Ghanaians that he would deliver. But I think also that aside, for each of those ministries who pick the most qualified or person that he thinks qualified the most, tick certain boxes, in order for that person to. And for me, tourism and creative arts would be two things. First of all, how exposed is the person? How exposed is the person? Secondly, how...
When you say exposed, what do you mean as in being...
as in somebody who has had experiences in different areas, please. I don't think that we just have to go and choose somebody who's... Just because the person is a political person or a party member or have done things for the party, we're just going to choose that person for choosing the person's sake. But I think that somebody who has experience, the knowledge, and has that tourism outline, for me will be the person that would fit that. Secondly, also, I think it is somebody with a certain marketing and branding, kind of experience, over the years. Because the first thing in my view for a tourism minister is to market the country, very well. in all aspects. If it comes to everything from agriculture to health, to everything, that person must properly be able to market, the nation and the things that we do, very well. So the first thing is to make sure that the person is exposed, has certain business and then, international, international experience, exposure. And so he won't or she will not come just because they say yes to all the party things. So if these two boxes are ticked, I think that I would be happy for anybody who is chosen to be the tourism minister. So I don't think that we should look at just loyalty, from the party's sake, or just necessarily party people.
Or being a creative, or being from the tourism.
I think that's also something that we should look at. I do not think that just because you're going to be tourism minister for tourism, creative arts and culture, therefore you must necessarily be a creative arts person. I don't believe in that. I believe that that person must be somebody who can negotiate, properly look for funding for the kind of projects. We are in a space, Kwame, where we need a lot of investment in tourism. So many projects that were outlined for development in the previous administration didn't happen. I believe that some of those we need to continue. Like, for example, the Marine Drive. I want to see somebody who can go and sit in front of people with funds and say that, look, come and put your money in this, and then we believe we can. Somebody who can talk his way out of that. And you need somebody with kind of exposure, has contacts, can do that. Not just a party person who is loyal. I believe the president will look at all this, and I hope he does, and he chooses for us the right person. I said today in a column, in my Explore Africa column in Graphic, that I think we need a champion. We need somebody who can champion tourism, can champion business of tourism, can properly engage, funding people with funds, and probably convince them to, and also speak to his finance minister very well and convince him or her, or convince him, we know it's a man, so convince the finance minister that this is a good project and we believe that we can do it. It takes somebody with experience, knowledge, understanding, exposure to be able to do that. So for me, these are initially the two things that I'm looking at for.
You mentioned more than two. Somebody who fits into the president's agenda, somebody who has exposure, a marketing side of it, who can negotiate for investment, or somebody, and more. You mentioned more.
Yeah, I think I roll it in two. So the president's one is different because that is given. He would only choose somebody.
The other
that
ones are under the second point.
Yeah, so other ones are for the person that is chosen, regardless of the president's, view of the person delivering their mandate. I'm saying that person must be able to do this, to be able to deliver the president's mandate as a matter of fact, because we are at a crossroads of tourism, and we need somebody who understands it. A lot of countries have gone ahead of us. Togo is doing things around it's become a very good aviation hub because they've properly taking time to invest there. Benin has risen. If you go down to Malawi, they become very strong because they have strong leaders in tourism and all that. So we need somebody who understands the space, has exposure, is able to properly engage funders and other people and drive that agenda that we have.
Okay, 7. So what would you look out for if you were the president? What would you look out for in appointing the Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture?
Okay, so I think last year when I did the Manifesto thing.
Yes.
I think I mentioned that I would have wished tourism and the creative arts would be two separate things. And the reason is they might merge at a point, but largely they are two different things. Two very different things. Now, our creative arts, or I want to call it creative industry, but most of our creative arts, everybody just thinks film, music, maybe fashion. But no, it goes down to architects and software engineers. These are all people under creative arts. We don't really look at it that far. The people doing the new media, the vloggers, the bloggers, and all these people are included in what is creative arts or creative industry. So, when you want to appoint someone, I think we have people that we can put up as Minister of Creative Arts or Minister of Creative Arts and Tourism, but most of the time, most of them have more of a creative background and possibly two sections of that side, which is a film or music, right? So we definitely need to have somebody who has more experience in maybe multiple sections of the creative industry, and also some tourism. And then I think we actually also tend to be very biased even when we talk, because when Francis was talking, he mentioned a lot of tourism.
He is tourism biased.
Okay.
Am I right to say that?
No, because I feel that a creative art is just blocks. Tourism is for me is a
But
bigger,
somebody will also say that
no.
it is the arts,
That-
culture, heritage that drives
that
tourism.
drives the tourism.
It drives tourism, yes.
Yes.
But tourism is the umbrella, in my view.
Is it not
All
the other way
others-
around?
No, it's not.
No, wow.
It's not. They're the building
Is
blocks
tourism
that help.
not the resultant, effect of activities of arts, culture, heritage?
So your
Heritage,
strategy is tourism. What are the things you do to make sure that you...
Okay, makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
So we definitely need someone who has possibly a broad knowledge of tourism and the industries which comprise of the film, music, new media, software developments, and all these things together.
Okay.
That's what I'll look for.
Okay, so 7 is looking for experience in the fields, a number of the fields under the creative economy, if I should put it that way.
Exactly.
Let me come to Jesse. What would you look out for?
So let me kick the nest a bit. So if somebody sat in front of you looking for a job, or you probably you're sick of a disease, you would look for a specialist who can address a specific need. So instead of, for me, speaking about who's fit for it, we need to first answer the question of what. What's the person coming to do? And to answer the question of what the person is coming to do, you need to go straight to the manifesto of the NDC. And when you go to the manifesto of the NDC, I think you may have to go to page 37, I think, where the party or the president and his team properly synthesized what the problem of the tourism creative arts space is. Because what a leader is supposed to do is to help address that specific problem. So what was the problem that they put in the manifesto? So let me read for you. It says, our tourism and creative industries are challenged by inadequate investments. That's 1. 2, acute infrastructural deficit. And 3, lack of strategic partnership, which have crippled the sector. So stop the conversation here. Exactly. Before you move forward, before you talk about the who and all the gra-gra, understand the problem that's in John's mind. And again, when I say John, I mean His Excellency the President. It makes it easy for the conversation. So in his mind and his advisors' mind, they built what they are calling the People's Manifesto. They went around the country, they spoke to all the actors in the industries, from tourism, creative arts, everything else. And when they put the entire document together, they said the problem to be addressed are threefold: investment, infrastructure deficit, and lack of partnership. So in going through the choosing of the who to lead to address the problem, you need to ask yourself whether or not Akwesi or James or Atto have the capacity to help you deal with the problem. Again, the party didn't end there. The party also, in addition to addressing the what, told you the how. If you go to the manifesto, in my view, when I was reading the manifesto this morning before coming here, I decided not to just focus my attention on the creative arts aspect of the manifesto, which is what you might make a mistake and do. Because I think that the job of whoever leads the ministry is twofold. 1, how do you deliver the call out for creative arts and tourism and arts? And 2, how do you opportunistically look out for the other things in the manifesto that might be important for people within the arts and tourism space? So I'll give you an example. If you pick the manifesto today and you go to the non-creative arts side, the big bucket side, you might pick things like they talk about a 24-hour economy. A desk has been created at the presidency with an advisor to speak to 24-hour economy. Question is, how do you ensure that your sector doesn't just become a residual part of the process, but you are part of those who shape it to make it work? Number two, the vice president has been leading a conversation on Women's Bank. The creative arts space has women. So how do you tap into that? Again, I know this conversation is about the who.
And I know we will get there.
We'll get to the who, but I just want to make sure that you see, just establish the problem, because in choosing a finance minister, an attorney general, or anybody else, it's not just, you're not choosing an entertainment prefect. You're choosing somebody who's supposed to lead in helping His Excellency the President deliver a mandate, in my view, in 3 years, not even 4. So think of Women's Bank and those in the creative space who are women. Again, the manifesto speaks about a Juma program where 10,000 businesses are supposed to be created and supported to succeed every year. How many of those businesses do you think, as a minister, you'll be interested in championing for your own people?
In your space.
In your space. 3, digital jobs, where His Excellency and the team are pushing for 1 million people to be trained within the sector all the time. Again, part of the space requires digital for tourism, digital for the arts. In the same manifesto, you would find concepts like augmented reality and things like that. So a key part of the job is your understanding of the digital space. Again, I'm telling you the what and the how they intend to achieve it, so we can answer the who.
Okay.
Then again, the same manifesto, they made a point about prioritizing made in Ghana. The government says that it's important to support Ghanaian businesses. Now, there's no bigger industry in the country that gives you more made in Ghana than the creative art space, in my view. Everything they do is in the creative art space. It's in Ghana. It's made by them. And again, key, it says we will leverage private sector investment. It means you're looking for somebody who has an appetite, like Francis here had said. How do we find the money to do the job? This is even the non-creative arts aspect of the manifesto. Now, when you come to the core creative arts side, which is where many of us will be interested in, we check social media and things like that. They speak about the Black Star experience. Again, for me, it's a long list of important events on the calendar that must happen. Then they speak about the Creative Arts Fund. It means you should be somebody who can lead the charge, getting a fund set up, going through legislative processes, working with Parliament to get a lot of things done. All I'm doing now is laying the card for you to understand the problem ahead of you. Next, something that caught my attention was the establishment of a new city and the Volta Bank.
Yeah.
Again, you're not building a hostel.
No.
You're building a city. Francis has also made a point about the Marine Drive. Yeah. Okay. And so, in my view, I've given you the what of what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the team want to achieve, threefold. And they've told you how they want to achieve it. The next bucket is what I'm calling the system. You listen to Marco Kreku many times, and he will tell you, he painted a very slow picture of how things were not done and things like that. The success of the minister largely relies on the system at play. If you check the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts website, there are about 13 agencies. Only one is about creative arts. So this is not a creative arts ministry alone. It's not an agenda for creative arts. It's an agenda for almost 13 buckets that deals with millions of people. So you need someone who knows how to move the parts together without just the person thinking that he's an entertainment prefect. Again, I'm sorry, it's not creative art.
It's not an enter-P job.
It's not an enter-P job. Because you see, they won't just sit down to create a manifesto to help address things, and then you silo the conversation. Okay. So what am I speaking about in terms of system? Again, you go to the job, you need experience to manage CEOs, you need experience to manage Parliament, you need experience to manage your colleagues in cabinet, you need experience to make sense everywhere you go. And the most difficult job for you as a minister, and I'll say this, I don't know what it takes to become governor for Bank of Ghana. I don't know what it takes to become chief executive officer for Atomic Energy Commission. I don't know. Many Ghanaians don't know exactly what it takes to become finance minister even. But we are all beneficiaries of their decisions. But when you pick the creative art space, there are more actors, more stakeholders, more players, and more people with opinions. So moving this sector is, in my view, more complex than many sectors. So you need somebody who, when a person is appointed, the person's gravitas is able to move the system. The next point I would make is on, and here I want to disagree with Francis a bit. And I want to say that it's important that the person is loyal to the cause. And again, I'm not disputing the essence of technical competence. I'm only speaking to the fact that it's important that the person is loyal to the cause of the party. Okay. And I'm not saying you have to be NDC colors per se, but you have to be loyal to the cause of the party.
Sure.
Final point for me on this.
You have to be.
You have to be loyal.
Why not the people in the industry? Why won't you be loyal to them? Because
so
to me, I think if you are loyal to the party, most likely you will not be loyal to the players in the game.
No. So I'll explain that. There's a reason why I didn't put this first.
Okay.
So I gave you a long list of things that are, in my view, are important.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying that do not do away with the essence of you being loyal to the cause. There's a reason I said the cause.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Then the last point for me would be take a look at the first three appointments of the president. And I'm very sure, again, I haven't checked it very well, but I'm very sure that all three of them played a role within the manifesto committees.
Of the sector.
Of the sector.
Of the sector, yeah.
Good. I'm very sure that the finance minister played a role in the manifesto committee. The attorney general played a role in the manifesto committee. The energy minister played a role in the manifesto committee. That's number one. So number one is technical alignment and checking the committees also. Number two for me is communication. There's a video that I always watch, which is Kofi Aduma's video. So His Excellency John Mahama was interviewed by Kofi Aduma, I think when he lost the election in 2016 or so, and I remember that very well. In the interview, he made the point that one of the things that he failed them was a lack of communication. So if you check his first few days in office, they are comsing everything. Yeah. The people must know. So we're going to have an energy meeting. Yeah. You know we're having an energy meeting. Oh, how many ministers? He's told you how many ministries you must expect. Therefore, don't expect more. So John and the team are comsing everything that they are doing, which is unlike what they had done before. Why am I saying this? In addition to the technical competence, watch the first three announcements. These are people who are technically gifted and they communicate right. So your ability to communicate that which you do, in my view, I don't think he would also appoint a minister who doesn't know how to tell the story of the sector proper. Because once you get a job, you must comms it. Francis captured it very well and said, you need somebody who can market it very well. So in my view, if I sat in a room with His Excellency and everybody else, and we were interviewing those who are fit for the job, as an example, these are the things I would look out for.
John 99.7 FM, you just heard Jesse Ejapon. Uncle Francis, you want to?
I just want to chip it.
Okay, you can do that.
I don't think Jesse disagreed with me on the loyalty part.
Yeah.
You know, because the point I was making was that I don't feel that should be the one that should be put in front.
Agreed.
You know, like, you know, you have to be loyal. You have to believe in the party's agenda for which they ask the people to give them the mandate to be able to execute that. But I was saying that must be part of it. But
Agreed.
we need to look beyond just that.
You.
And also, again, Kwame, we could find all that we have said. I mean, I have said, Jesse has said,
and
Seven has said. In somebody who is also a creative art person, we're not necessarily saying that we shouldn't. The president shouldn't appoint anybody from the sector, but you must be able to meet these other ones, even if you are somebody from the creative art.
Okay, so if I should summarize Jesse's point, so he said you should have experience in handling at least the 13 sects of the ministry, right? We have 13 of them. You should have the gravitas that moves the system. and then you should have that communication skills.
You must understand.
Understand.
What they're coming to do. There are 3 problems on the table now.
Great.
It's in the manifesto, page 37. It's there. Before you send your application to John, read the problem.
All right, John, 99.7 FM.
And just know that you're not going to become an entertainment
Entertainment
Okay, so this afternoon we are trying to, get into the mind of President John Dramani Mahama to know who he's going to nominate as Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts. Okay, I got it right. Culture and Creative Arts. Yeah.
They're always confusing us.
Okay, send us your message 055-1111-997. Let's hear you. Who is going to be the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts? Now let's get into. I have 2 questions. One, who you think should be the minister? The second one is who you think John Mahama would choose. Who you think should be the minister, and who you are convinced that I say Mahama the way neighbor. So that is what we're doing next. Let me start with you, 7 Xavier. 7, who do you think should be the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture?
Who do I?
President John Mahama is listening to us right now. He's listening.
Do you have a list? Because we don't know if there's a list of.
If you do, please share. Because right now,
I don't want to.
Okay, let me mention.
Because if I mention any name, it will probably be somebody that I like. And
let me mention some of the names people are mentioning in the industry.
Okay.
So there is a name like Ablanji Fagomashi.
Okay.
There is a name like Baba Sadiq.
Mm-hmm.
There is Rexoma.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some people mention John DeMello.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking minister?
He's asking me to mention some of the names that are
For minister
flying.
or for heads of the agencies?
No.
This is
This is
Minister.
This is minister.
Okay, all right.
Tourism, not even deputy, minister proper. So I can give you some of these names: Abla Gomashi, Baba Sadiq, Rexoma, and John DeMello. 7, I've helped you enough.
Okay. Let me put a twist to it. How about I tell you who does not belong on the list?
Maybe.
Okay.
That is why I'm asking.
That's
who,
cold, man.
No, who you think
Yeah.
who you think
Yeah.
deserves to be the minister? And the second question is who you think Mahama would choose?
No,
They
I
are two
said,
different
so I said I'll put a twist on it and tell you who does not belong on the list. At all.
Tell me.
Yeah. First and foremost, I don't think the word deserve actually needs to be in there because
Okay.
then it feels like it's a reward
Okay.
or something of sorts
Okay.
to them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, we should understand it's public service, and you are coming to serve people. So, I mean, the one person that I know hasn't served well in past position has been Rex Omar.
Oh, really?
So definitely, I do not want to see him on the list.
No, why do you say that?
Oh, he was a gunner. We saw him. Like, collective agency is a subsect of music industry, and he couldn't handle that. So how do we now put you to
But I
the
think Rez
biggest?
has enumerated some of the challenges that he faces.
There's no challenges. He
Not-
just
not
didn't.
even
He just couldn't
locking
handle it.
system.
And sometimes, I think sometimes we should actually be honest with ourselves and let's. Yeah, we it's a challenge that I couldn't handle. Like that would be easiest way for him to say the things that he was
He's
saying.
building a new office for Gamro.
The office is not what it needs. It needs software to run, not physical brick and mortar.
He's complained about government not bringing into effect a law that would even let us know how much playing music, let's say a play, or how do you call it when you play music once? How do you call it in your?
See, the whole industry doesn't.
No, he's mentioned that. I know you are aware
Yeah,
of that.
people play. But you see, the thing
Yes.
is, the whole industry doesn't know what it's doing. In any part of the world, we are talking about associations, musica, and they are the ones who force rates on Gamro to basically let people know if you play 30 seconds, a minute, this is what it is. It's the associations in musica. But guess what? This is where we have a problem where people move from musica to Gamro as if they deserve it. As you put earlier, they move from music. Like every person who worked at musica moved to Gamro. So musica? Wait, so music and other boards, not other boards, other associations are supposed to check Gamro.
But somebody also say Resoma is one of the people that actually took some of these institutions to court, GBC, which other company, to court. I think MTN too. One of these companies to court for not paying royalties and all that. Has it not done
something.
What man should do.
Okay, so the thing is, so the ones who actually paid, what did he do with the money? That's when you know if these other people pay, what happened to the money?
Has he not given it to the royalty, the right owners?
No. But today's not a day, so I'm not really going to.
Oh no, I'm just asking questions. I'm just
saying that somebody who was not a good enough manager or a good enough overseer of that little subsect of the industry, the music industry. I definitely would not probably want to.
I have not heard Rex say that he wants to be minister, though. I just mentioned the name because some people are mentioning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he wasn't in the list, and I had to talk about it. But apart from that, the person that I would want to see as Sadiq, maybe, and the reason is, I think there's been so many changes in tourism and the creative arts. In the past few years, and I've had opportunities to talk to a couple different companies, different individuals, different associations, and different groups of people who come into our space. And the funny thing is, everybody thinks, I mean, our name doesn't do us justice. No, our name is, the name Ghana is actually too big for us. Because I've had people come in hoping to have like their minds blown by things we are doing, things that are here. And then they come like, oh, this is the same Ghana. You know, we have this name out there and people expect so much more. And then when they come here, they realize we are all playing. We are all playing. For example, 2 days ago, there was a BMI music publishing seminar that was done 2 days ago. And apparently the people who invited, the Ghanaian artists, mostly the underground artists go for these things, not the bigger establishments. And apparently the BMI, which is a public royalties collection company like Gumrow is, kept referring to the Nigerian royalty collection company. So people ask, why do you keep saying the Nigerian one? We have Gumrow here. And they're asking, what is Gumrow? Who is Gumrow? You know, they have no idea what we are doing here, but they have all the information on Nigeria, whereby they are referring everything to Nigeria. It's only because they have no clue what is happening here. See, so there's been so many people, different groups of people come in, and it's like the creative sector is dead. It's dead because truthfully, it's a bunch of individuals doing things on their own. No government support at all.
I understand where you're coming from, but by saying the industry is dead, is it not an exaggeration?
Oh no, it is. No, it's not an exaggeration because almost all the artists that we see who we think attract people to the country really are successful because of foreign-based record labels. Right? Everything about them is foreign-based. Their royalty collection company is foreign-based. Their PR machine is all foreign-based. So we're not really doing much when it comes to the different sectors of the creative economy. We're not doing much, you know, and there's so much going on. Like you talked about AR and VR and all these things where in video games, there was one video game company I knew in Ghana, I think Letty Arts or something. Letty, right? I'm sure they probably never got any type of support and they're probably dead by now, you know. So yeah, this and maybe, just maybe, it's only because tourism and creative arts are in the same sentence that most of the funding that comes in all goes to tourism. You know, and I've had this thing with Mark. I think Mark, we had a conversation every now and then. He says basically, if it goes to tourism, it goes to tourism because we can tax them and we know the revenues they are making. But one crop on there, we don't know. There's no data. There's nothing. If you're given $10 million put into that sector, what do you show for it? How do you quantify anything? Because the last time Mahama gave some money, it was $3 million to Obo.
That 20.
There's never been
this money, 2 million.
Not to Obo, to
the ministry. To the music industry.
To the music industry, quote unquote.
Yes, music industry.
There's never been any type of, when he asked, oh, didn't you see that? Was it? They had a report.
Yes.
That's like the only thing that anybody.
I went to see that report in Obo's office though.
He did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't worth 10 million, 2 million, 2 or 3 million CDs.
So
and that report showed that the contribution was
yes.
less than 2.
Yeah.
Less than 1%.
It was 0.20%.
Yeah, 0.20%.
0.20%.
Yes.
At that time.
At that time, as of 2011.
So 0.20 of the tourism creative arts.
That was for the music industry alone.
Oh, okay. The music was 2%.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Okay. 7. So who are you choosing?
Oh, I just told you. If I had my own, if I had a choice to make, if I had to make a choice now, yes. I'll think Baba Sadiq, because I think he's a bit more rounded in like the different sectors of the industry. So I think he's a bit
who
more.
You want. I'll come again and then ask who you think the president will appoint. Okay. Now, so from all the things we said earlier on as in the qualities we're looking out for, so maybe we should let these guide us in choosing who we think or who we're convinced Mahama will choose as Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture. So somebody who must have the ears of the president, somebody who has a business, a marketing, branding background, somebody who can attract investment, somebody with the communication skills, somebody who knows the political dynamics, something about governance. You can't just go in there just like that. Okay, so we let these be guidelines as we choose or make our choices. Now, let me go online. There is one of our brothers online who has joined us. Austin Wood is a broadcaster based in the UK, and he's been following the creative industry, the tourism, art and culture industry over the years. He's joined us now. Austin. Hello, Austin. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, Austin.
Hello, Kwame.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We are having challenges with your sound. Can you hear me now? Hello, Austin.
Yeah, I can.
You can hear me.
Hear you too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of mouthpiece. Are you using your earpiece?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's better now. All right. Okay, so Austin Wood is online right now. I want to go back a bit and then take your opinion on the qualities that you look at for before I ask you a question about who you think qualifies to be the Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture. So, Austin, Happy New Year in the first place.
Happy New Year to you, Kwame, and to all those who are in the studio with you as well.
I hope the small boy is doing well.
By God's grace, he's recuperating and responding to treatment. Thank you for asking.
We thank God. Okay, so let's shoot. So, what qualities would you look out for in somebody who will be chosen to be Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture?
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening to those who have joined us as well. I think that, first of all, I would like to start from where Jesse ended. There are some bottlenecks or some hindrances that affects who a president can choose to be a minister. And it has to deal with the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, which is the 1992 Constitution. Why am I saying this? If you check Article 78 of the 1992 Constitution, 78.1, and I would like to read. It says, ministers of state shall be appointed by the president with the prior approval of parliament from among members of parliament or persons qualified to be elected as members of parliament, except that the majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of parliament. What this article of the Constitution basically says is, if a president is appointing ministers of state, majority of them should come from parliament. That is, majority of them should be MPs. So that creates a problem because the president's hands are tied in who the pool of people he can choose from. So, for example, in this discussion we are having, look at the names that you put across: Baba Sadiq, Rex Omar, and the rest. You you'd quite remember that in times past, because of this hindrance put in place by the Constitution, majority of the people who have been chosen as substantive ministers for tourism back then, and now creative as has been added, have been members of parliament in recent past. And that creates a problem for the president. And that also creates a problem for us in this particular industry. Why? Because you see, the president would first of all, and I'd like to put this across, consistently, we have had the tourism and creative arts ministry being part of cabinet. So we need to thank our presidents in times past for that. But you see, consistently, the presidents that we have had would first choose a minister of finance, would focus more on a minister of justice and attorney general, energy, education, health. So when these nominations are chosen by the president, he is left with a few people he can choose from. Because majority of these I've spoken about, the president might not be choosing them from parliament. So once he's choosing these numbers of the ministries I've talked about outside parliament, it means the number of ministers left that he can choose would have to come from parliament. And when that happens, it ties the president's hands, because then he's forced to choose somebody who might not have been his preferential choice or first choice to be Minister for Tourism and Creative Arts. And I agree perfectly with the Constitution Review Committee, which is saying that that part of the Constitution should be taken off. And the recent one that was set up by former Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Osei Mensa Bonsu, they have also said the same thing, that they believe that Article 78(1) of the Constitution, where it says the president should choose majority of ministers from parliament, should be amended so that the president would have the choice to choose ministers either from parliament or within parliament or without parliament, so that the president can choose Ghanaians who are competent enough for positions he wants to assign to them. Another thing that I find problematic with our industry is, I think that I agree with the three panel in the studio who says that we have focused more on creative arts. So we are looking for an industry person. We are looking for an industry person. When President Kufuor changed, his first Minister of Tourism was Madam Hawa Yakubu, late Member of Parliament for Boko. When he changed and gave it to Jacobeche Bilamte, President Kufuor added modernization of the capital city to the Ministry of Tourism. And we all know who Jacobeche Bilamte of blessed memory was when it comes to advertising in the Ghanaian space. Well over 30 years, his experience in advertising. So if the president of the republic, then his focus has to be tourism and modernization of the capital city, and he is bringing in Jacobeche Bilamte to replace Hawa Yakubu, then you know the thinking of the president, then President Kufuor. But I ask myself, look at President Mills's first minister. Kwame, if you check President Mills's first minister, when he became president in 2009, she was chosen from parliament.
Okay.
And is Juliana Azuma Mensah. Did little or less for our industry. It had to take Elizabeth Ufusu-Ajare, who positioned our industry and also our ministry to a level where we were appreciated, where we were part of the national discussion. When I put everything I have said already and ask myself, how will President Mahama, who is the first president under the fourth Republican Constitution to have added creative arts to tourism, position our ministry. How does he see it? And I am glad that for him to be the first president who felt that he should add creative arts to the ministry shows what he wants for our industry. Because he believes that tourism, we have been promoting, tourism has been doing so well. Tourism's contribution to our GDP has been enormous. Now, can we marry tourism with creative arts? And for President Mahama to have had that vision back in his first term in 2013, I am happy he's back and we are discussing this, because then I believe that he has this will to help position tourism and creative arts as twins who, when they come together, would help us achieve success and also help create jobs.
Nice one there. Nice one there, Austin. Before you go on, so what qualities would you look out for? Then before you come to tell us
what
who
I
you
am
think...
looking out for. I was part of the group Creative Forum Ashanti who fought the last time asking President Akufo-Addo to choose an industry person. I have changed my mind. I don't think I am looking for an industry person now. I am rather looking for a competent person who has business acumen, who has connections, who can process all the data that we have in tourism and creative arts, look at it, process it, and says, this is what I can use to create decent jobs and bring funding and money into the industry. That is what I am looking for. A more business mind approach to tourism and creative arts. And a classical example is Elon Musk, the richest person in the world. When he took over Twitter, right, we all know what he is about. But he took certain decisions where even the majority of the population of the world who were on Twitter were saying what he was doing, he was going to kill the business that was started by Jack. But when he took those decisions to streamline things, I'm not happy with some of the decisions by sacking other people. But he said when he streamlines it, when he sacks people, he believes that he will be able to achieve success. And now look at X. He's doing brilliantly well. So I'm looking for someone with that kind of mindset, a business-minded person, not somebody who is industry person. So a business-minded person who would look at data, all the data sources we have from the Ministry of Finance, from Tourism Authority, from the ministry itself, and say, if I look at this data and I look at what it brings to the Ghanaian people, we'll be able to create jobs, we'll be able to bring money into the Ghanaian economy and help appreciate the impact tourism and creative arts has on the GDP of Ghana. So that is basically what I am looking out for first.
Great.
For industry person, it will be like a fifth criterion for me this time around, Kwame.
So who do you think should be the Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture?
I have done extensive research since this came up. I've looked at what Jesse and Francis talked about being a party person. I've checked a business person. I have done all these, putting everything together, and I am thinking the person best positioned currently for me is Kojo Bonsu, former KMA Chief Executive Officer. Because of...
Wow, Kojo Bonsu.
Yes. Former KMA Chief Executive Officer. If he is chosen as the minister designate for tourism and creative arts, I believe that in the area of tourism, we all know what he did with his Ago magazine. And the mindset of Kojo Bonsu in branding, when he even came to Kumasi as the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Chief Executive, how he rebranded the assembly, how he made Kumasi. You see, look at the land that was directly opposite the Golden Tulip Kumasi City. He rebranded it and made it into that edifice you see now, Berachi Park.
Yeah.
So it tells you his mindset about tourism and branding. I believe with his business acumen as well, if he has that, right, and we get he gets a little bit of help in creative arts, he is well positioned to be one of the best. So for me, looking at everything that the criteria, all different criterions, I believe Kudu's former KMA Chief Executive Officer should be the leading candidate for
beautiful one there.
Tourism and Creative Arts Minister designate.
Nice one there. Take a breather, Austin. I'll come back to you, and I'll come back to ask whether your choice of who you think Mahama would choose is the same as who you think should be the minister. I'll come back to you. Austin Wood there from the UK broadcaster, still here on Joy 99.7 FM. You can also send in your options if you like. 05511119997. I have this message from Uncle Francis's best friend, Attractive Mustafa. He says, who is the entertainment prefect among the names? Excellent submission from your panel members. And an outstanding show overall. He says KOD and Ebi Bright were among the key spokespersons for the creative arts sector during the 2024 campaign, alongside Rex Omar. And then he also says that the qualities of individuals who will become ministers under Mahama have been clearly demonstrated in his first 3 appointments. Being a member of parliament is an advantage, along with a solid educational background, experience, competence, loyalty, notable achievements, among others. Attractive. Hey, he didn't say that. He said Andre Mustafa. Okay. Andre Mustafa. Joy 99.7 FM, and we've been joined by George Quay, Team Lead, Image Bureau. Sir, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, you called me sir.
I don't say.
David.
Now said ding.
Obviously, is here. Nipetiet here. Mum reach him. More dear cry.
Welcome.
At least you remember us. For all our good works.
Okay.
Anya Shokra, we are start using now.
Okay. All right. Let me go straight to Jesse. Jesse Ejabo is a marketing consultant. Please tell us, who do you think should be the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts?
First of all, you've got a list. What's on your list? I didn't come here with a name, but you give me your list.
Okay, so I'm mentioning,
please,
names flying around.
Take me through the entire list you have.
Okay, some of the names.
No, not some. Take me through the list.
Jifa Ablangomashi.
Yeah.
Baba Sadi. Rex Omar. John DeMello. Ebi Bright. George Quay. So these are some of the names flying around. Austin just mentioned Kujo Bonsu. That's his choice though, but no, former KMA.
Yeah, that's well. That's
okay.
Good.
Agro Magazine.
Yeah.
You do like you know.
Jesse.
Oh, you did my top now.
Yeah. Who is your choice?
So honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm gonna mention a name per se, but I would. Let me speak about a name that I'm very comfortable with. But I don't even think that name should go to creative arts, tourism, and culture. I want to talk about John DeMello. So here's my thinking for John, and I don't know John from Adam. His name is on the list, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you follow John's public showing over the past couple of years, John, in my view, has positioned himself very strongly within the agribusiness value chain. In the past 10 years or so, there's been a lot of concerted effort in driving the youth attention into agribusiness. Pick the likes of MasterCard Foundation. pick the likes of Springboard Roadshow Foundation, who are driving what we call the Ghana Growth Program, which is encouraging 18 to 30-year-olds to focus in agribusiness space. I think, in my view, there will not be a stronger poster boy or girl for attracting young people in the agribusiness space than John Dumedo. So when I saw the ministries come out, and I saw the call out of agribusiness being moved from agriculture and being taken to trade, I think, in my view, if the government has a very strong agenda for youth attraction into the agribusiness value chain, one person who, among others, and I'm not saying he's the only person, but one person who, within the creative art space, who's led a very strong charge for amplifying the need for young people to go into the agribusiness space, I think it's John. And in my view, he would be a very strong poster boy for that. So in my view, if I sat in a room like you're asking me to do, I would take his name out of the creative arts list. Good. And I might send him to agribusiness space. I think he'll be a solid asset for that space.
Okay. But that's not a ministry, is it?
Well, it is ministry. It is
a new ministry.
Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. So I mean, if he goes there,
he will be Minister of Trade.
No, so he could be Deputy Minister of the mini ministry.
Okay.
In charge of agribusiness. Again, if I sat in the room, that's what I would do. Okay. Because I need somebody who would. You need to grow tomorrow's agri minds today.
Yeah.
And it's a very serious thing. You've got to focus on that. Now, bring me back
to coming to
space.
tourism, art and culture.
So, look, I think. So, John, you owe me.
Don't you have a commercial break?
No, we don't have. Today we don't have a commercial break.
So, here's my view. You cannot have a person work in your manifesto committee and not reject him when he was added to it. You cannot complain when a person was made a spokesperson for the sector and now come and complain when the person is vying for the post. You can't say Baba Sadiq is not fit for the job. You can't say Rex Omar is not fit for the job. When they were appointed in the manifesto committee, you didn't reject it. They sat in there, they worked it out, they built the case. The document you see today is also part of their work. When the party needed people to represent them in public, when Joy FM organized the manifesto debate, the party could have chosen anybody else. But the party may have seen something in those two people. And the party said, go represent us. Baba Sadiq was on stage speaking on the manifesto, creative art space. There must be something the party saw in Baba Sadiq. Rex Omar was part of the manifesto committee. There's something that the party may have seen. In my humble view, and again, I'm not going to talk about minister or deputy or whatever be the case, but I think that these are assets that are crucial for the sector. Again, I made a point the last time. Take a look at the trends of the first three. You will see who would be the minister. It's already done. Again, Jifa, we've sat here before. We've spoken about her a couple of times.
Yeah.
You all say one thing about her. Fantastic lady.
Yeah.
Kojo Bonsi's name has come out. Brand titan. Great. You can talk about, and when we talk about brand these days in the country, you cannot talk about brand and comms and amplification without speaking about Stan, who is a Dogbe.
Stan Dogbe.
Fantastic guy, by all standards. And I think that he's proving that he can do a lot with a few. So, in my view, I don't think you deserve a name. All I am saying is this: that
he deserves names.
Oh, he deserves names. All I'm saying is this: that I'm gonna, in secondary school they do a dash. So here's my point. Let me read it for you.
Okay.
Dash is the person who would support John in raising financing for the sector, helping to fix the infrastructure deficit, and he would find the right partnerships for the sector.
This puzzle we can't answer.
Then you decide.
we can't answer.
In my view, if you can't, I'm not going to pick this because
okay. So let's go to the next question. So the first question was who you think should be the minister. Now, who do you think?
Or who do I think should be?
No, that was the first question.
Hold on. Who do I think should be the mini minister?
Yes. That was the first question. Should I go to the next question? Let me make it easier. Shall I go to the next question?
Just if you were president.
No, so that's the second question. So we are asking two questions. George, we're asking two questions. Who you think should be, and who you think the president will appoint? Should appoint. These are the two questions. Yako first round, we're going to the second round. So because he wasn't able to mention who he thinks should be, now who do you think Mahama will appoint? Or if you were the president, who do you think you appoint?
Let's go and come. I'm thinking through it. Who do men say that I am? Okay, let's not kid ourselves. Number one, in my view, right? I think that Rex, Baba Sadiq, Kojo Bonsu, Stan Dogbe, Francis Doku, these 5 individuals, I think, could do a very good job for the sector. It's very unfortunate that Francis is sitting here. He has no business being here today.
I've also heard some people mention your name.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, don't mind them. But I'm just saying.
So come, I'll read the messages.
Okay.
I'll read it.
Now, again, I'm also mindful of the fact that this is a biased program relative to the appointment. If this was a tourism-related program, you would have the tourism experts here, and they will give you a list of individuals
from the tourism side,
individuals who are very major in the hotel industries, who've done a lot of stuff.
Sure.
You get what I mean? Sure. So I think that we are biased towards the creative. So my answer to you is based on this program and what it presents.
Okay.
So for this program, these 5 people, I think any of them could do a good job.
Let me go to Francis Doku before I come to George Quay. Yeah. Francis. Yeah. So the first question. This time the short man didn't come early, so.
Because we finished the attempt.
Even if the short man comes late. All right, Francis Doku.
Yeah.
Who should be our minister? Who do you think should be our minister? That's the first question.
I think that in a previous round when we spoke, Jesse, myself, and Seven mentioned some, of the criteria that we think that happen. And I think the key one was somebody who is able to, answer those 3 questions. Can the person get the right partnership? Mm-hmm. Can a person drive that kind of investment that we need in the space? And also, as much as possible, can that person be the guy that can market, or the lady who can market our tourism as much as possible? Kwame, you see a trend in the 3 that has so far been appointed. John Jirapo was a deputy minister of energy in the previous previous administration of President John Mahama.
Yeah.
Dr. Dominic Anyine was deputy minister of justice. Dr. Atu Forson was deputy minister of finance. Okay. So there's a pattern.
These are just 3 out of about 23.
Absolutely. For the first 3, there's a pattern.
It's he's saying there's precedence.
Okay.
Yeah. Precedence. So I think that it might end up being Abla Jifa Komashi. Most likely, if we follow this trend.
Okay.
But
there's a
now you want. But I think again we have also mentioned that this is a new administration. His Excellency President Mahama has a mandate, and he has very little time. To be honest, as Jesse mentioned, it's 3 years.
Yeah.
Very little time for things to happen, and so I believe that, in my view, you want people who have had some level of experience in the space. I feel you need to have people who can engage on that level, have some level of governmental or administrative, experience. I don't think this is a time to come and do as what's his name?
Macha Makwe.
Keto Kreku will say Macha Makwe, because you have belief in people, and all that. I'm saying that because of what we've seen up until now. It may change along the line, say that let's try, this, and see how that also comes. But I think that, and I would rather we look at somebody who has that kind of administrative experience, is able to engage, on that level. And it is why even though we have, very good friends whose names are on that list that you mentioned, John is a very good friend. I think, again, as
Jesse.
Jesse said,
Please agree with
he has shown a certain,
Gravitas for it. Yeah.
in a particular area,
Yes.
for some time. And he has, with videos and photos and things and, practical experience of people who have experienced that, seeing the things that he's done in that space. I think it will be good to give him some push, so that he brings that out in that area. So he's on my list for Minister of Tourism.
Wow.
I also think that Sadiq is
Baba
a
Sadiq,
friend.
yeah.
All of us here are friend. He's done so much in the creative space, from production to event to music business to everything you can think about in the creative space. Sadiq has done that. I feel that the kind of thing that we need immediately for a tourism minister would be, in my view, out of scope for Sadiq, where his skill set, I believe, sits perfectly as the person who will lead that space. I feel he would help in certain area as a support, very strongly. If there's a role for deputy minister, I would
Give it to him.
I'll give it to Sadiq straight away, because you need him in that creative space while he supports that thing that would happen. And so, as the main driver of that space, this is our guy. But I feel that it's a bit, in my view, too early, for that. I would say the same for Rex as well, as it will be, in my view, a bit too early at this stage. Maybe something in the area of head of the creative arts agency, which is a very key part of a part of what he did at Gamro, or had done over the years at Gamro and all that. I believe those would work.
Seven is here. I thought Seven is here.
He simply
That's Seven's
disagreeing
friend.
with you, so-
That's not simply. That's simply.
No, did he say you wanted him as minister?
No, he shut him down completely.
So I'm agreeing
One
with
person I don't
him.
want to see.
Oh, you're agreeing with him?
No, I'm agreeing to the extent that he's saying that he becoming the minister is a bit too much for him, right?
But you said
a
not now.
It's like
not now.
But when?
Yeah,
He's
never.
He's not.
So I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, never,
No, he
never.
says never, because in his view he was totally.
I've got a question on this Gamro things that I can ask later.
Yeah.
Okay. A
Okay,
question to
please do.
Dr. Quay.
No. See, it's a question to the industry people.
Oh, industry people.
So
Okay.
so here is it. How does Gamro compare to the Gamros of Africa?
I think we need a different platform for
No,
this
I agree.
conversation.
Because you see, no,
If Gamro is-
I think he's the best
wait.
person to answer that.
Because I think in my view, it's difficult to evaluate
No, we will talk about
Rex
this later.
fully. But later we'll deal with this matter.
Yes.
Oh, you can.
Francis, please land.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So I am building a point to say that I feel the person, in my view,
Yeah.
who, based on this conversation that we've had so far, would fit that role. The person who has that experience, who has managed projects on a bigger scale, who can, in my view, sit and talk to investors, of the things that they need to happen in that space, is who Augustine mentioned.
Austin Wood.
mentioned.
Oh, Kojo
Which in my
Bonsu.
view is
Bonsu.
Kojo Bonsu.
Oh, okay.
But
There's another.
that's the
battle.
person that I want,
Yeah.
or feel should be considered, but I don't think he will, because, as I've said, the pattern shows that he might land on
Jifa Gomashi.
Jifa Gomashi.
There is one person that we seem to have.
No, he's mentioned Kojo Bonsu.
We,
But he
we,
says that
we,
it
we
might
seem
land
to
on
have
Jifa, yes.
forgotten. Elizabeth Ofuswejare was chairperson for the NDC Manifesto Committee on Creative Economy.
And that's the person I think Mahama will go with.
And she was the first minister, when they created the ministry in 2013, she was the minister.
Yeah.
And Ablan was deputy minister.
So it will be still be in a party if she comes.
All right.
I mean, at this stage, we're all speculating.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
possible that the president will say, well, this person did well at that time for me as far as tourism is concerned, so I want her back to complete what she started. I mean, if you recall, part of the final things that were done by President Mahama was the National Film Authority Act that he signed into law.
The Film
the
Classification
the
Act.
Creative Art council that was formed, I think all those were under her. And so maybe the president would say she started something that she didn't completely finish. So maybe we should bring her back to complete. And perhaps that's why I was saying that, because Abla Jifagomashi was also part of that ministry. It could be her or it could be the main minister. But I am saying that I wish that we try Kojo Bonsu.
George Quay, if you were the president, John Dramani Mahama, who would you appoint as Minister of Tourism?
Let me announce that after a number of years, I received royalties from ASOG, 312 cedis, 0.6 pesos.
What is ASOG?
Audiovisual Rights
Society
Society
of Ghana for
It's a gumroad for
for
movies.
the 200 episodes of Taxi Driver
Taxi Driver.
series and other things that I featured. 312. I don't.
I wonder what Pastor Richard got then.
If I got 312, you get like 350. Or maybe 320.
Someone find you send him here.
Christ have mercy. 312.
Yes.
So let's imagine this is all I live on. The older folk in the industry. I mean, 312 cities. 312.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We'll leave that conversation for another day. Great, interesting submissions.
Yeah.
And greetings to our brother Austin. Let me start by congratulating the NDC and President John Dramani Mahama for that resounding victory. It's quite unusual to see this kind of victory. And I mean, since the inception or the birth of the Fourth Republic, I don't think there's been a tsunami like this before. It's quite interesting and quite refreshing. So I congratulate them. I'd also like to congratulate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for that timely concession. Saved the country a lot of tension, and you can see even what happened in the aftermath. Imagine if that concession didn't come at the time that it did. And I think he's earned himself a big, a certain level of respect among people who probably didn't even look at him in that vein. He's shown how selfless he is. He's shown how willing he is to put the country forward at any given time. So I congratulate him as well. And to all Ghanaians, generally, we've conducted ourselves well. And though we didn't invent this thing called democracy, it looks like we've embraced it better. And year in and out, we seem to prove to the rest of the world that we actually do understand it. Because look, about 4 years ago, our man, Francis Duko, and I, our man, MAGA, even MAGA nearly destroyed democracy for America. Nearly, I said nearly. Okay, we'll leave that conversation for another day. But we all know what happened, so. But yeah, we still love MAGA. So we congratulate all the, stakeholders. Now, to your question, if there's any government, I would agree with everybody. If there's any government in the history of this country that doesn't have time, it is this particular government. This government does not have time. Don Duku and Jesse mentioned, 3 years? 3 years. I say 2.5. Mm-hmm. Because you see, there are a lot of offices to be filled. And the nature of our politics, a government takes over, everybody gets fired, and all those things we replace. That's about 40,000 public offices to be filled, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a lot of work. That alone can take a year. So if there's any government that doesn't have time, it is this government. Now, once we speak about time, then comes in the level of experience. And rightly, like they mentioned, if you look at the trend, I don't think President Mahama is here to play fancy or satisfy a group of people or say, creative arts, you're asking for this person, so take. No, the man knows, one, he doesn't have time, and two, he has a country to rescue, quote unquote, and a legacy to leave behind. Because two things could happen at the end of his tenure. Either he goes down as the worst president in the history of this country, or he goes down as one of the best we ever had, if not the best. And I don't think anybody who wants the latter, which would be the best, would say this is the time to toy and say, okay, Charlie, these guys put this, these guys did well, this guy did well. No, I think it's a different debate. Let's focus on let's not go there for now. So because again, I can only speak to what I have seen. Yeah. I didn't experience in Nkrumah, so I cannot, because one would argue, if he were that great, why was there the need to overthrow him? The motto is still there. Yes, but why was there the need to overthrow him? Let's leave that debate for another day. So I speak to what I have seen in the Fourth Republic, and for me, knowing that he doesn't have time, to play around and try things and say, okay, we'll reshuffle, we'll do that. Let's test. There is no time to test anything. I think the debate, and if anybody has the Perplexity AI app, just sitting here, I tried something. And if anybody has it, you can try it too. I jokingly asked, who do you think President John Dramani Mahama should choose for... I just quickly, with your permission, I quickly want to read the answer that it gave.
All right.
Where is it?
Okay, as he's looking for it, you can send in your messages right now. 05511119997. Who do you think will be the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture? Yeah, George, do you have it now?
So who do you think President John Dramani Mahama should consider for the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts? The answer was President Mahama should consider appointing Abla Jifa Gomashi as the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Her extensive experience as a former deputy minister and her deep understanding of the cultural landscape make her a strong candidate. Additionally, her academic background in African studies and her involvement in various initiatives within the sector position her well to lead effectively. Now look at this part. Then it comes back to say Baba Sadiq and Rex Omar are also notable candidates, but Gomashi's proven track record in policy development and industry advocacy could provide the necessary leadership for the ministry's growth.
I like the coincidence. Because they're thinking of the AI and
It's strange. I like it too. It's quite interesting. You understand? So
That is beautiful.
now, that's why you could also. Oh yeah. You could also try it as well. Now, for me, here's the thing. Seven. You mentioned Elizabeth Ofosu Ejari.
Yeah.
Now, she was there with Abla Jifa Gomashi.
Yeah, she was.
And we had rumors of conflict. They were not getting on well,
Yeah.
and all that. I think the sector has experienced her as the lead in that space. I would add my voices to both, friends as well, and say I would love to see a Jifa Gomashi lead that space. Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi lead that space. And then let's see what can come. Because, again, she has the experience. And it's not by accident that the name of the sector is led by the word tourism. Tourism is key. All our other brothers that we've mentioned, arguably, do not have that tourism experience as compared to Jifa Gomashi or even Elizabeth Ofosu Ejari. They may not have it. They are creative people. And if you look at the good work that Kwesi Ajiman and his team have done over the years, tourism has led consistently. And tourism has given even some level of a springboard to the creative sector to even shoot up, elevate it.
Hey,
You understand?
Are you sure it's not the other way around?
Oh, I don't think so. Because you see,
No, because I really think everybody come December, the 30th December, which is like our main tourism year, they're only coming to see artists.
that is the point. And that December thing that you're talking about was driven by tourism.
Yeah.
The year of return and beyond the return, they were tourism
They were
instruments
tourism
that
policies.
gave December and GH a reason to become what it is today. All these celebs that came to
I
Ghana
really
were
think
all...
it's been there before that.
No,
It was
let's
a-
not
it
go into
was
that argument.
amplified. You know
Let's not go
that.
into that argument.
Okay.
Anyway, that's
Let's reserve that
So
for
for
another
me,
day.
so
Yes.
for me, so
Yeah.
for me, yes, our brothers in the
with you.
space have all done great. Are good. Strange, nobody has mentioned MBB Bright. And
Ebby.
also have a lot
Ebby.
of other people. Ebby Bright, sorry. Have a lot of other people like Wickfield, Akwaku, and all these other people. But I think for a party or a government that doesn't have time, this isn't the time to tour. The sector has about 13, right? Is it 13 agencies that under the ministries? There are places that people can easily fit in and support and come together to make it work. So for me, if we were to choose a lead today, I would go with Abla Jifa Gomashi. But then again, all the other names that have been mentioned could find spaces within the 13 to lead, and they would come together. And it's going to be... Look, kudos to... I have said it time and again that you can fault the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for any and everything, but definitely not tourism.
Yeah.
That they did and did very well.
Very, very
they
well.
got it right. They did
Yeah.
great. It would be a shame to see that ball dropped. I think somebody should pick that ball and take it to the next level, because countries that are well developed and doing very well don't joke with their tourism.
Great.
So we can only get better with it. So yeah.
Wonderful. So the second part of this conversation, we focus on the other agencies within some of them. NFA, we do the agency, we do National Theatre, if you like, a few other. GTA, GTDC.
Yeah.
Okay, so possibly we do that. 05511119997 is a WhatsApp number. Who do you think Mahama would choose as Minister of Tourism, culture, and creative arts. We're still here on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and this show is brought to you by MTN Everywhere You Go Superstar Multi-Fruit Drink. We have in the studio Francis Doku, Jesse Ejapon, George Kwe, Seven Xavier, and already they've made their choices, except Jesse. Except Jesse.
But the Kojo Bonsu conversation is also quite
Austin
an
mentioned
interesting
Kojo
one. No,
Bonsu.
it's actually because when you look, I say a lot of things that we're enjoying today were triggered by Jacob Echebelamte, and we know Jake's background.
Yeah.
And Kojo Bonsu has a similar background, arguably. So
Do you know who brought musical youth to Ghana? Cool and the Gang to Ghana.
that was Kojo Bonsu.
That's Kojo Bonsu.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Kojo Bonsu. So that's what I'm saying. So Kojo Bonsu is also quite. Yeah, I think it will not be a bad idea to.
All right. Before we go for a break, let's also bring in our listeners right now. You can call in 0302216 541 0302216 541. Yeah, just call in right now and tell us who you think will be Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts now on the show. Okay, anybody on the line now? All right, so you can still get in touch with us on WhatsApp. It's 0551111997, and the studio line is 0302216 541 0302216 541. I think we have somebody on the line. Oops. Please, before you speak to us, kindly make sure that the volume on your set is down. All right. Okay. You can get through to us 0302216 541. That is the studio line, the phone line to call us on right now. And if you want to do via WhatsApp, 0551111997. We're looking at who becomes Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts already.
That's a name change to thing.
Yes, there's a name change to back to factory
We'll change
setting.
letterheads again.
Yeah, but I think it's important because some argue that the word arts used without the creative made it a bit too broad.
Oh, okay.
Because it made it a bit too broad, and it could arguably bring in a lot of other things that did not necessarily fit within what we're looking for.
But George,
Which
isn't our industry
Which
broad?
one is even better?
Yeah.
You're sure?
For example, what do you think?
Isn't our
might-
industry broad? It is broad, right?
What do you think
You
might
see,
creep
when you
in?
speak about the creative arts,
Yes.
it specifically speaks to certain things.
So what happens to those that you
Encompasses-
leave out?
Encompasses, no.
Yeah.
All the things that you're thinking about actually fall within what we call the creative arts.
Okay.
Let us even go to, maybe I'm wrong and I stand to be corrected. Let us even go to secondary school, for instance.
Yeah.
When they say arts, general
Yeah.
arts,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
General arts, which
Yeah.
is like art in general. What kind of
No,
subjects
it's
are we
visual-
talking about?
Was it?
We have visual. We have general.
There is
We have
visual arts.
and
And then
there's
general
general
arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us go with the general arts. What subjects are we talking about? Let's mention them. Economics. is there.
economics, history.
History is there. Geography is
Government.
there. Government. They are all there.
Yeah.
Do these come under creative arts? So if you just say
So what?
arts,
So why are you
don't
saying creative arts then?
because creative arts specifically
Specifically says,
refers
yes, it has to be
to the
creative.
performance arts, the visual art. The visual arts is the pottery and all those.
But arts also
Hold on.
arts also captures fine arts, right?
Yes, exactly.
No,
So
arts, no, you see, that's where the
Okay.
the line is, and the line is quite thin, and we have to be very careful because when you say
And fine
creative
art is
the creative.
dondology.
and George, even the Act 1048
Yeah.
includes all the other things.
the other
none of
elements
the
that
things
we-
you
yeah.
think are not creative
Creative
arts.
arts,
They are
yes.
part of it.
The history and the geography and the
No,
but
you are not getting me.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
these
creative-
things
creative
are
arts.
what we
You.
call creative
Creative,
arts.
All right.
yeah.
You understand? They all
Yeah,
fall within
okay.
creative.
I think I understand you now.
I get you.
I get it.
Let's pick somebody on line now. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Abu Mohammed. I'm calling from Japan.
Okay, Abu. Who will be the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture?
Yeah, first of all, I don't know too much deep about art, tourism, and culture, but based on the surface, what I know, I think, is it necessary that a politician must be chosen? If that's not the case, then they should choose Miki Otebeku.
They should choose Miki Osebeku.
Yeah, because I'm somebody who was taxi driver since then, and up to now, the guy is still in existence and doing so well. So I think if they choose him,
Oh, okay.
I would like it.
And you didn't see Abu Aji in Taxi Driver?
No, that's what I wanted to say. If they choose him as a minister, then they choose Abu Aji as his deputy. I think they will do a very good job.
My guy, I beg, drop your Momo number. Eh? When you be a drop your Momo number.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. You can also call in right now and tell us who you think will be the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and culture and creative art. Yes. Please tell us right now, 0302216541. We're still here on Showbiz A to Z. We're looking at who becomes Mahama's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Okay? All right. Now there are some of your thoughts right here. Somebody says, I'm Kwame Jr. Okay. All right. So 0551111997 says, I'm Kwame Jr. Tuning from Tinkong. I love blessed fluency. Okay. God bless GH. All right. Let's think about this one. Good afternoon. I think Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi is 1. Okay, 2 is Baba Sadiq, and 3 is Akofa. Which Akofa? Ajiani. Okay. This is from Gabriel K. Danso in Dowenya. All right, still here on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. We're going for a breather. When we come back, we look at. You have something to say?
What the last caller said was very important. No, the last caller, what he said was very important. It must be considered. Friends, you don't go talk so. Okay. So what the last caller said was very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Miki Osebeko, Minister, and then
the Deputy Judge. Hey, man.
We are back after this.
First Sky Group, a wholly owned Ghanaian company made up of First Sky Construction, First Sky Bitumen Processing, First Sky Commodities, Volta Serene Hotel, Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Serene Insurance, First Sky Energies, and Federal Rural Bank warmly invites you to its 22nd Thanksgiving service on the theme Proclaiming God's Unfailing Love, Romans 8:37. The Thanksgiving service in 2 parts will be hosted by the founder and executive chairman, Mr. Eric Sedi Kutoche. There'll be an all-night service on Friday, 17th January 2025 from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at the Trinity Temple Assemblies of God Church, TTAG Community 10, Tema. Ministering in Word, Reverend Mark Sessi, National Missions Director, Assemblies of God, Sierra Leone. Reverend Sujit Alex, FAM's North Area Leader, Assemblies of God, UK. Thanksgiving service follows on Sunday, 19th January 2025 at the main auditorium of the Accra International Conference Center. The time is 10 a.m. Guest speaker, Reverend Stephen Yensum Wingam, General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Ghana. Chairman for the occasion, Most Reverend Professor Johnson Kwabena Asamoah Jedu, the presiding bishop, the Methodist Church Ghana. Ministering in music will be MOG Music. Also in attendance will be His Eminence Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong Manso, immediate past General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Ghana. Apostle General Sam Kwanchi Ankara, Royal House Chapel International, Reverend Steve Mensah, Charismatic Evangelistic Ministry, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, Apostle Professor Kwejo Opoku Onina, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, Reverend Dr. Sylvanus Amegashiti, Elam Group Corporate Chaplain, First Sky Group, and many other senior clergy. For more details, please call 020-854-3441 or 0248-940-021. First Sky Group 22nd Thanksgiving Service, proclaiming God's unfailing love.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Still radio on Joy 99.7 FM, the superstation, Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie. I'm here in the studio with Francis Doku, Jesse Japon, Seven Xavier and George Quay. We're looking at some possible appointees to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. We're done with the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. We'll be getting into GTA. The Ghana Tourism Authority. We'll be getting into Ghana Tourism Development Company. We talk about the Creative Art Agency, the National Film Authority, among others. In the meantime, Thursdays are now extra special at MTN. You know that? Yes. And your Thursday just got more exciting because from now on, you get a nice 25% discount on your first data bundle purchase of the day. When you bundle on my MTN app or you use *13#, *138#, this and every Thursday on MTN. MTN is saying that's not enough for a lovely customer like you. So they're offering a free extra movie ticket when you pay with Momo at the Silverbet Cinemas at Accra Mall or Western Mall. And for those of you in Kumasi, you get free tickets at the Golden Cinemas in Kumasi Mall. And if you ask me, I think your movie dates are sorted from now on. And this is what I call a sweet deal. So set your reminders, bundle my MTN or *138# and make the best of your 25% first data bundle discount. Or go to the cinemas, use Momo and get your free extra movie tickets on MTN's Yellow Thursday. So here on Joe 99.7, are you a small or medium-sized business owner? Are you an entrepreneur planning to channel your passion into a side hustle? Listen up. The Joy Business Advisory Series is all you need. For 10 days, experts take turns to offer insightful nuggets on best practices for financial management and business growth. Topics include building the right customer experience, effective budgeting and financial planning, leveraging technology, mastering the sales process, and other essential business issues. The series starts on Monday, 13th of January to Friday, 24th of January. So catch us daily at 1 p.m. on Marketplace, on Joy News Channel, or follow the conversation and further details on all Joy Business socials via LinkedIn and Facebook. Joy Business Advisory Series, empowering individuals, transforming businesses. Now, Charlie, the enjoyment is real. You the film? From January to June 2025, Enterprise Insurance is giving you more reasons to smile on the road. So buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards, free fuel coupons for your car, and airtime for your phone. Of course, with over 100 years of trusted experience, we're here to secure your peace of mind. So just go to any branch, connect with your insurance agent or broker, or use the Enterprise Advantage app for your convenience and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime instantly when you buy or renew your motor insurance. Enterprise Insurance is rated AAA by the GCR for financial strength and claims paying ability. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise, your advantage. Alright, so we are back. Already we're done with the submissions on who becomes Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture. All my members right here, they've made their choices, if you like, except Jesse Japon. Seven Xavier is going for Baba Sadiq. Francis Doku says it's likely that thing will go to Jifa, but Kojo Bonsu today, that thing, he did a picture inside. Austin Wood is going for Kojo Bonsu. And then the AI George Quay, big boss, straight up to Jifa Gomashi. Who do you think becomes Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture? All right, so we are getting into the other areas of the ministry. And I'm very sure people are interested in knowing, because there are some people whose names have come up in the ministerial appointment, as in those on social media. That some people are saying, okay, this one can go to agency, this one can go to authority, this one can be a board chair somewhere. All right. Now, let me start with the Ghana Tourism Authority. Let me go around and start with George Kwe. Okay. So the GTA, these are the names that are flying around on social media. Abeku Santana, Gideon Aikwe. You remember Gideon was once GTA? Go. Okay. Abby Bright. Some people have mentioned KOD. And then Stan Dogbe. So, George Kwe, let me start with you.
To start with, I don't think Stan Dogbe would want to take any posts.
Okay.
He's just not that kind of person.
All right.
Unless the Stan Dogbe we all know has changed.
All right.
And but you get me, not like public office.
I mean, I'm just
you get me exactly. Yeah. I don't think he will. So that conversation is I think he's busy running his own stuff as well. I don't think he has that much time on his hands. It's difficult for me to choose out of the other names because again, you need to say this well so it doesn't look like you're. I am looking at the work that Kwesi Agyeman has done.
Yes.
And I'm asking myself, who would be the best person to step into those shoes? Because those shoes are not easy shoes to fill.
You should mention what he has done, because maybe some people fail to see what exactly what he's done. So.
Okay. Almost every... You know the GTA is the implementing agency for the ministry. And from all these... all the things from year of return to beyond the return to December in GH, all the renovations, the visibility they brought to the entire concept of this slave thing that we do. You go to the Slaga slave market, what they've done there. You look at the renovations of the Nkrumah Memorial Center. A lot of it's a lot.
Partnership with some companies.
You know. Yeah. What you were saying?
Kintampo.
All the things that they have done, and it's a lot of work, and that is the kind of work that you need somebody who has a certain sense of like the qualities we mentioned for Jake, advertising background, and Kwesi Agyeman has the same background. He was with the GMA. Yes, General Manager at GMA, that's Global Media Alliance. So he had that vision, he had that foresight, and he had that network. The man actually even wrote a book. I don't know if you've seen the book. Yeah, he wrote a book, and that book is there and all that. So for me, I think he's done a lot of work. He has set the bar very, 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 very high, and it's not going to be a walk in the park. Of course, naturally, the people that work at the GTA are still there, and they would support anybody who comes in. I want to believe. I think it's about time people leave something like a Bible. Mm-hmm. You understand? When you're leaving, instead of doing just your normal handing over notes, leave some sort of a Bible. Some may argue that why should I leave and trade secrets? But if you when you're in public office, it's not about you anymore. How did you do it? It is the only way this country can grow. You understand? That said, I think for that office, some of the names that you've mentioned are not bad. Abeku Santana has a lot of tourism background. I mean, he runs Kaya Tours. He's been doing this tourism thing for a bit. KOD has been doing his stuff in the space for a bit. He also has a lot of experience when it comes to the creative side of things. Abeku also has the experience in the creative side of things as well. So for me, either of them, and I believe they all have great relationships with Kwesi Agyeman. So and knowing Kwesi Agyeman, he won't be somebody that would say, look, because you are from the opposition or something, when you knock on my doors, I'll not open. I think he's going to open, and he would. I think sometimes we should all be humble enough to, when somebody has done well, let's not look to compete with the person. Let's look to learn from the person. You understand? I think that's the best way to. When I got to Chatham, one of the people I learned from was Jesse. He's the reason I can do marketing for some of my plays. He took me to a certain man called Palavras Doji.
Please say it well. I want to record this and put it in the session.
Yeah. No. We were looking for sponsorship from LG for a show called Game TV or something. I had gone there for weeks. I had done all the letters. I had done everything. And at one meeting, I got some small blasting and just said, "What was the problem?" I said, "Oh, Charlie, the man, I did let's go." Just picked the suit. We drove straight to, and then he entered the office, crossed his leg. Mr. Rastoji, how are you?
Just as it's done right
Charlie, we left with the sponsorship that very afternoon. No, just be legend. You know. So basically, I mean, for me, anybody, the point is that the yardstick for now is Mr. Kwesi Agyeman, who's done exceptionally well. No two ways about that. So, I mean, that's the yardstick. Who among these people can do what he has done? You don't have to do what he has done. Like I said, it would be good to work with him, at least get some advice. I don't know who, but I believe all the names that have been mentioned all have the skills and they could step in there. But I honestly do not know who. Whoever it is will support the person and work with the person.
Maybe 7 knows. 7.
Well, no.
GTA.
I am very more creative.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that side. Oh, Rexuma as GTA boss.
I mean, as long as he stays away from creative arts, I mean the creative side.
That's that.
So yeah, Rexuma for GTA.
But you see, whoever leads GTA also works with the creative, because one of the key support that the creative sector got, the sponsorship, was from the GTA. Where all the theater shows, music concerts, festivals, and you name it. Kwesi Agyeman made sure that it doesn't matter how small it was, they gave you some support, they gave you some leverage, they gave you some connect, some network. So yeah.
Okay. Please let me go on Zoom and speak to Austin for a while before I come to Jesse and Francis Doku. Austin. Hello, Austin.
Yeah, Kwame.
All right, so let's talk about GTA.
Okay, thank you very much. And something small in a minute. I think that if we avert our minds to certain things that would hinder the president, Jifra Blagomashi might not be the minister. Why am I saying that? She qualifies as a member of parliament because of what I talked about earlier. President Mahama has also said that he would appoint 30% of women in his appointments. So she will qualify for both ends. But the challenge is there is this talk of Okudzeto Ablakwa and another person from the Volta region, the current chief whip, Kwame Dadzie, who would be ministers. And you know, there has to be regional balance in the cabinet, not more than 19. Oh. And we believe that tourism would be a cabinet position. So if not more than 19, and we are saying 19 cabinet ministers, if you already have 2 who would be coming from the Volta region, it would be difficult for Ablagomashi. I think he might maintain Elizabeth because she's a lady, she's been there, she's in parliament as well. And if you check the Bono East, she's the most experienced. All those coming from there as members of parliament, the 11, the 10 NDC has. She's the most experienced. And only one lady, Felicia J. from Kintampo South. So I believe I would rather he goes with someone who has been there, which is Elizabeth. So when it comes to Jifa and Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, Elizabeth is up on the scales, looking at some of the things I've just put forth. For
GTA,
I think President Mahama should maintain Kwesi Agyeman. We are building a Ghana.
Please say it again. Please say it again.
I think that President Mahama should maintain the current GTA head, Kwesi Agyeman. I don't know.
Knowing that he belongs to the MPP, a different political party.
Yeah, but if you check the area of tourism and the political parties, the ideologies, both for tourism and creative arts, it does not differ. So it will not be a case of ideology. It will not be a case of free SHS where one says that let us do it now, another says let's do it. No, it's nothing like that. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The ideology of Kwesi Agyeman's political party in the area of tourism does not differ extremely from this. But let's build a country. You see, I think that we should be looking towards that. We should be building a country.
So that he makes the appointments regardless of which political party or political orientation you belong to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That in times past, I've talked about why you should not be appointing political opponents, because if you don't believe in 24-hour economy, you should not be appointed as trade minister. You get what I am saying? But in this area of tourism, both political parties do not differ in their ideologies. So Kwesi Agyeman is not bringing a different mindset or a different ideology, which is different from what President Mahama has talked about in his manifesto or the NDC. That is why I'm saying this. I would have wished we maintain him, because I have encountered him. I've been in this space. I've gone to seminars, conferences. He's invited us all, and I see his impact in the industry, right? And I would have wished we maintain him. I wish we get to a point in our democracy where positions like tourism authority person, those ones will not be about political parties or partisanship. We should be heading towards there. I'm not saying there are not good enough people in the NDC, but for continuity, for what this gentleman has done, he is one appointee of President Akufo-Addo who never said he's giving this to you, he's inviting you, he's giving that to you because you belong to his political party. He never manned that position or that authority as an MPP person. He opened his arms to all. He invited everybody, even if he knows. Check the last time Joy FM, you had the manifesto thing. He was so non-partisan. He only becomes partisan when Baba Sadiq and Rex Omar were trying to attack some certain things that his government probably had done or had not done. But when he was speaking generally, he was so non-partisan, and he wishes well for tourism in Ghana. So for me, if he is maintained, I have no problem with that.
Great one there. Austin, please.
Other names, I think Abeku Santana, brilliant. Gideon Ayikwe, he had been there, but I don't think he should come back. Aside Kwesi Agyeman, Abeku Santana, I would be looking for a woman. I think we should put a woman there. If these two will not suffice, if we put a woman there, and for women, a lot of names would come up. But no matter which woman is put there, once they are competent, I believe that they will be able to achieve what the party or the government wants to achieve in that area. For me, number one, Kwesi Agyeman. Number two, Abeku Santana, because of the vast experience, knowledge, and education is acquired in that field in the past 7 years for himself, and hands-on, he's been doing it. So practicability, or third one would be a preferential for a woman.
Thank you, Austin Wood. Let me come to Francis Doku now. Francis.
I like Austin's passion in his suggestion for Akwesi to be retained or reappointed as the CEO of the. But let's face it won't happen. You know.
Is it not possible?
No, it's not possible.
Is it not possible?
It is not. it won't happen.
Judge Quay, is it not possible? Judge Quay, is it not possible?
Very possible. So I think that, well, he's made a good case. And again, Akwesi did well. But again, let's face it, Ghana still is not out of the woods when it comes to tourism. There's a lot that is still we still need to do. For instance, we need to diversify our tourism products a bit more, and that has to be led by the GTA. We need to diversify our source market a bit more. Currently, we rely too much on America or the US as our source market for tourists. I think we need to look at how to diversify a bit more into other regions and all that, and that has to be led by the GTA.
We want affordable internal
yes
tourism. It's not affordable. So
true. There are a lot of factors that has led to that. For instance, accommodation is the highest thing you pay when you visit any place. I think Akwesi and the GTA had been engaging the association, but they also talk about taxes. They talk about it goes more beyond just the GTA. That's more like the government's, position on taxation, all that affects everything. I mean, if you take a receipt from any restaurant or anything, you look at the taxes, and all that. So that's a bigger issue that maybe a tourism minister needs to have conversation with the finance ministry, and all that, and see how to work around. But I feel that we need, again, somebody who understands the space, somebody who can go around and properly engage, partners. So all the things we mentioned earlier, for the minister, that also applies directly to the head of the GTA, because again, as we said, as George also mentioned, tourism leads. I mean, no matter what we say, tourism leads. We might be biased towards creative arts and all that, but tourism leads. Your biggest strategy is tourism. All of that's in support to make sure that you are seen, because the numbers you present to the World Tourism Organization come from GTA. So we need to look at somebody who understands the space as much as possible. I mean, and of all the names that you mentioned, I feel that even though I would look at around a bit more, if I were the president, I'll look around a bit more and have somebody who understands the space, has that kind of experience, the knowledge, and all that. But if I'm limiting myself to the list you mentioned, I'm limiting myself to
Don't
that.
limit yourself.
Okay.
Look around first before you come to the list.
If I'm looking round,
yes,
I'll mention somebody like
Jesse.
Jesse.
His name has come up. Somebody mentioned his name earlier.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
if I'm looking around, I'll look at somebody like Jesse.
Jesse Japan. Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because of all the things we mentioned earlier, in terms of his knowledge of the space, his marketing orientation, and I keep saying that the GTA is the biggest marketing organization for Ghana, for Brand Ghana. I mean, since we collapsed the Brand Ghana office, or is it still there? No, since we collapsed that, the GTA is the biggest marketing organization for Ghana. And as George keeps saying, the biggest marketing campaign Ghana held was in 2019, the year of the return. It's the biggest campaign we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And that was managed by the GTA. So you need somebody who has understanding of marketing, branding, and all that. And also somebody who can, again, talk to peers and investors and all that. So there are things that need to be done, and you need that kind of outlook of a person. But if I'm going to talk to the list,
so still looking around.
Yeah,
you've not found anybody.
Oh, I mentioned Jesse.
Okay, yes, sorry. Somebody also mentioned your name. Sorry. But it's because you are talking, so I have the list here.
I'll be a very good GTS.
Yes, somebody mentioned your name. We had a very tall list.
I mean, they should mention my name. so it will go to the president. Okay, so now how can go from that kind of thing. But I think Abeku
Santana.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to go by the list you have, Abeku, I think, and Austin referred to it, has the practical and a theoretical knowledge. He has a degree in tourism. He has a master's in tourism.
Couple.
He's been a tour operator, for a while. He's been on the creative art side, and as we also said, tourism thing is not just tourism. It also has creative arts to support. He's done all that. And so if an opportunity presents itself for him to be the person to lead that space, I think that he has the connection also. He has the connection in the space. I'm with him on some other tourism platforms in Africa. A lot of people connect with him in that space. And so it would not be out of place for him to be the one appointed to that role.
All right.
I feel KOD is more on the creative art side. And so any opportunity, for him to be put on in any of those institutions, I think would be welcome by me. But if we're talking directly about
tourism.
GTA tourism, I feel Abeku has the skill set more. Gideon wouldn't be bad because we couldn't assess Gideon much because the time he had was short,
very short,
before
the
election. Party left power, and so I wouldn't know how to assess him more. But I feel if we're looking for somebody who connect all the dots and it's on that list, my view must be Abeku.
Well, Jesse.
So somebody just sent me a message and said that there are other people that we probably are not considering.
Okay.
And my point is this, that you are as good as what we know you're doing. But if you are super great and you don't tell the public or you don't amplify your space for the public, then it's difficult for the public to know. So as an example, again, let's go back to the current appointments. We were clearing our minds what Ato Forsen has been doing all the while. If Ato Forsen or Isaac Adongo or anybody else had been appointed for that specific job, they've been living the space, talking the space, and amplifying the space all the way through. Osetepe, as an example. So I think, in my view, if I put the seeking for status aside, where we assume that the minister's job is the highest that must be sought for, and we are talking about real job on the ground, in my view, I think that for the job that Bonsu did at Goyle, in my humble view, I think that for the kind of action that you require, he is someone that I probably would have wished would go to the GTA. But again, as we grow, we're looking for more status symbols and things like that. But so if you put the real, and again, the ministry is for policy making and things. You're not doing a lot of actual work. So if it's actual work that he seeks for, based on what he's done already, I think, in my view.
But a GTA CEO it's not a small job.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yes. I mean, that's why I'm saying that if you put a whole status symbol aside, to lead the reformation of Ghana's tourism sector, I think is really huge. So in my view, if I have to just pick the two of them, based on the list that you've given us now, I would say KB would be solid for the job, and I also think that Santana will be solid for the job. I agree with Francis relative to KOD. I think from a creative arts side, he's someone who should be on the creative arts side. I mean, if they succeed on the tourism side, he succeeds on the creative arts side. It's a win for the industry. The other 11 or 10 agencies would benefit from a rise of the two.
Absolutely.
And once the two succeed, I think it fires. So in my view, looking at the structure now, I don't mind if you say, as an example, you will go via the AI approach. We'll go via the AI approach.
George, please help us
in choosing a minister.
Please help us.
And once we've chosen the AI as a minister, which is okay, and then we now find say a KB for a GTA, and then we find a KOD or somebody for the creative arts space.
Okay.
Then it's almost settled. Then now you need to decide whether or not you want to play a Baba or like a Rex to support the policy at the top.
Okay.
Then in that instance, you satisfy Francis' point on they've got to grow in a space. So you've got to, assuming you do a Baba as an example for deputy minister, or you do like a Rex for deputy, or whatever be the case, assuming that I accept the AI principle as minister.
It is ready. It is ready. George, let's
Should I read it? I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm only saying that.
Please read it. No, please read it.
Read it.
I asked, who do you think President Mahama should choose as a CEO for the Ghana Tourism Authority?
Yes.
President Mahama should consider appointing a CEO for the Ghana Tourism Authority who possesses a strong background in both tourism and the creative industries.
Name.
Suggested candidates include Baba Sadiq, a media expert and entrepreneur with extensive experience in communications.
Yes.
The next one is quite interesting, though.
Who?
Kwesi Ajima.
This is George. This is Austin. No, this is George. So, in a nutshell,
this is Austin. No, this AI is listening to this AI is listening to us right now.
But so for me, in a nutshell,
there's a third name. Okay. Additionally, industry experts like Emmanuel Frimpong. Who's that?
Emmanuel Frimpong is...
Ask AI.
He works with Gatoff. He was a secretary.
Okay, so you know him. Okay. So someone in the industry.
Francis knows him.
He was here in the studio with us the last time.
Okay.
Yes, the one who came with us. Okay. For the Galamsey thing.
Yes. So those are the three names: Baba Sadiq, Kwesi Ajima, and Emmanuel Frimpong.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, for me,
yes,
I think that, again, status aside, I think KB for the time that we have, might do great for that specific job, or Abeku Santana could be great for that. KOD goes to the creative arts side. play with.
First thing KB will do is to rebrand GTA.
Okay, why did you put them to the creative outside? Sorry, why did you put them to the creative outside?
I think we can do. Okay, let me hear you.
Yes,
he's pushing them to the creative outside. That's what I'm asking.
Baba Sadiq.
No, Baba Sadiq. No, KOD. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look, I think that.
Okay, so let's go there now. I want us to do creative as agency now.
Okay.
So maybe
So
we can
then
just
he
dovetail
starts then.
that.
No.
So let me start with you.
No, I
Simon.
mean, he already put somebody there, so please let him explain.
So you put yours there.
He put somebody there.
No, so
Explain.
who do you think goes to creative arts agency?
Definitely, he will not say Rex somewhere.
Oh, my guy. I thought you agreed he was going to GTA. The agency. Do you have
As
any names?
executive director.
Do you have any names for the agency?
The agency, we have Rexoma, Baba Sadiq.
Can I request for something?
Yes.
The same way George talked about what Akwesi Agyeman did at the GTA.
Yeah.
What happened at the agency, the creative agency? Just 4 things. George, please. Because we're building on things, right?
Yeah.
No, you
space. No, wait. For Akwesi.
Exactly.
I know that one.
No, so what happened in the creative arts space?
But nobody has mentioned anybody yet for the creative industry,
The
right?
issue the creative arts agency had was its legal empowerment to become an agency. They needed the legal backing, and I think did it ever happen eventually?
So it's in Parliament.
It's in Parliament, but it never
the
really
LI
happened.
got to Parliament.
So it
before
never
election.
really became an office that was supposed to function as
So
what it was supposed
how
to
were
be.
they operating then?
I don't know. I honestly.
So they were not operating as an agency.
They were
supposed
supposed to operate as an agency, but the legal backing that was
We can
supposed
say
to
it was a
mandate
quasi
that.
agency.
So they were operating like a committee or what?
We're not supposed to be.
Anyway, so the achievements will be what exactly?
None.
Of who, please? Of the
agency, the creative arts.
I think they made room for the LI.
No, I think I recall at the time COVID happened in partnership with the GTA. They made some funds.
I'm sorry,
and
all these
resources.
musical concerts were not in.
No,
in
it was not.
partnership with the
No.
They were all. A lot of them were supported by the GTA.
GTA.
You understand? And
intentionally.
for me, I think one of the key things that we could. I remember. I think I got a call from Frankie Five around that time.
Yeah.
They tried to put together a list for people to benefit from some grants and
cup
stuff
bus.
like that during the COVID time
Yeah.
and all that. And of course, what I also do know is that a lot of these traditional groups, music groups, that travel outside to go and do these performances, either them or the GTA, they help facilitate some of these travels and all those things. So it is hard for me to say that I know for sure they did A, B, C, D, but generally, yes, they also did support a few things in the space. Notable, which I recall, was the COVID relief funds that they
Also
had.
because they're not fully structured.
Yes,
before.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whoever is going
They
there
don't
is
have a
gonna
board
build
yet.
it
See,
from
the
ground
biggest
zero.
elephant in the room is the president appointing his daughter to that agency. Too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was a very
I
controversial
honestly
appointment.
hope that Mr. Mahama won't repeat that.
The room is too quiet.
You said?
No, I didn't follow. Who was appointed there?
Jankroma Ekufuado was the executive secretary
okay.
of the Creative Arts Agency.
That was not even announced officially.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the low points.
And another thing we were
Kojo Poku has been really
Was it an official appointment?
it wasn't
It was an acting. It was in an acting capacity.
Was it really
No, it
an
wasn't
official
an acting
appointment?
It was.
It was an acting.
It was.
You
It
saw
was.
it.
We didn't see, but we were told.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the whole
Yeah.
So
problem.
I was on the LI committee, and we
Yes.
were told that she's acting because there were actually guidelines as to how to choose the CEO,
CEO,
and she was already chosen to be acted. So it was an acting position.
So
It
she
wasn't
acted.
So she
like, for
acted.
3 years.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So now, from you, yes, Seven. Who goes there?
Who heads
Creative Art Agency.
Creative Arts Agency?
So mine is there.
No, I want to go for someone who's probably, like you said earlier, has advocated for the industry.
Okay.
You know, I would definitely want to go with a person like that.
And Rex hasn't done any advocacy for the industry.
Who?
Rex Oma.
What has he done?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Not to mention any name, but anybody who has done like some good work in advocacy will be fine with me. Genuine advocacy, genuine ones.
Okay. But no name.
So there's another name.
No, I can't.
Another name apart from Sadiq, Rex. Could you pray Kodankwa?
Oh, okay.
I think.
Are you surprised?
I think we need folk up to be the pressure on whoever is appointed. I mean, and this thing that I mentioned earlier, nobody has been very vociferous about it as Kojo Prekun was. You know, about the appointment of the president's daughter to head. And I think we
so
need,
as a reward, he should be made.
No. I am saying that we need him at folk up to continue to put pressure.
Enoch is there. He can handle Fuka.
Oh, Enoch will be left alone. Enoch need Kojo's support to be. I'm just saying that I feel that. Is he done?
Yeah, I'm done.
He's done.
Okay.
So
all right. I think KOD, because Sadiq most likely will be deputy minister if what we have discussed here holds, right? So I'm not putting Sadiq
deputy
there.
minister.
What if the deputy ministerial position is maybe
because in
off?
all honesty, let me say it here. I think the most useless role in Africa
agree
to
with
be
you.
the number 2.
No, it's actually not. It depends on who is.
No,
exactly.
Because
you're looking at the chief director.
That's the director of the
director.
There's that. Tourism director.
There is.
Demo 2 is
I now understand
we don't need a deputy
Nkrumah
minister.
never had a vice president.
We don't need a deputy minister.
No, honestly,
we don't.
Don't you know? Kwame Nkrumah never had a vice president.
So can I finish mine?
Please continue.
He's the vice president of Togo.
I'm sure it's another
Francis,
you know,
please.
so I would advocate for KOD. Like we said earlier, I feel his skill set fits more at that side of the ministry, you know. So on the list there, I'll pick KOD.
Jesse.
Well, I've already spoken to this issue. Okay. I've indicated that I put my preference out there for tourism.
Okay.
I put my preference out there for creative art space.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm done. Yeah.
And George, have you? Okay, not yet. Yeah.
It's tricky for me. It's hard. And again, I think that sector needs faces and people who can take bold decisions. I love all the names that we've heard here. Notable among them for me, obviously, would be Honorable Ablaji Fagomashi, Mr. Kojo Bonsu.
For the creative art space?
No. I mean,
all the names we've mentioned so far.
The names that I've mentioned, notable, the ones that stand out for me, you know, because we all know that the lead agencies that drive the sector are the minister and then the GTA. Let's be frank. The minister and whoever heads GTA.
Ministry, you mean?
The ministry. The minister for tourism plus the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. These are the people that actually drive the entire sector. You know, so for me, I mean, it's quite...
you know why? Because GTA has money.
GTA is the one that has, I mean, all the tourism levies
and the creative agency isn't.
So the minister wants money, go to
you know,
it's not resourced.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
So and if the creative agency is empowered to be able to do what it's supposed to do, I think that would also be another key role. Unfortunately, another area that is also supposed to be key. And Yasantua did quite well there.
NFA.
Oh, your friend.
Yes, Juliet did
Asante.
quite well. You know, so I think that is another key position that we ought to look at. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, some may even argue, do we really need all these agencies? Can some be put under others and all those things? Can they? Because there's also the folklore people. There's National Theatre. So even
Commission on Culture
office at the office of the president. I don't know if that office will still be there.
No, but that's not under tourism. That's under the office of the president.
But you see, it is something that actually it connects with tourism.
But
I mean, that's where office of the what's it doing there, really?
There's also the year of the return office.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so all
or
these
beyond the
need
return.
to be.
Yeah.
So for me, I think there are enough offices to be filled, and from some of the names that we've mentioned, it's clear that there are some competent people who, if we don't end up putting square pegs in round holes, if people are put based on their skills and experiences and background.
So George, who will go to NFA?
NFA, National Film. Oh, I think Wakefield.
Wakefield.
Yes, I think
or George
Wakefield
Bosom.
can do. Or who?
George
Bosompim.
Yeah.
Maybe George
He's
Bosompim
my
can
choice.
actually do a great job.
He's my
then.
choice.
Yeah, George Bosompim can do a great job at NFA. You know.
Can I give you a position?
Yeah, sure.
You know, we spoke about the Creative Arts Fund.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it will be set up, but the fund will need an administrator.
No,
Yes.
it's a whole different person.
Yes.
It's
No, I get
actually-
that. So who I want to hear you guys your thoughts on that also.
On who?
Fund
The
administrator.
fund would
When
have to
the
be
teachers
administrated.
The chairman, the chairman is actually the Minister of Finance. So I don't think anybody.
So there will not be
So-
an administrator of the fund.
So
The-
no, there'll be
the-
administrator,
there
but
will
you
be,
need
but-
somebody with finance
Yeah.
background.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So because for me, I think all these things that we are saying right now, if you don't have the finance, the blood to run things properly, to support the sector,
Yeah.
that's a difference. So as you guys are choosing the people who will lead your sector.
Is it you guys?
Look at where you are going to get the money from.
Please, are you done? So I take Austin's take on the Creative Art Agency quickly. Austin. Hello, Austin. Okay.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, Creative Art Agency. Who do you think will become the executive director?
I am looking at Nia Ite Hammond.
Ni Aite Hammond.
Interesting.
Ni Aite Hammond, Mr. H.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
D House.
and Ivan Kwashiga.
For NFA.
And who?
Ivan Kwashiga.
Okay. Okay.
For NFA.
No, he's mentioning Creative Art Agency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Creative Arts Agency. So I want us to go beyond people who have already been in the space and I don't know, are aligned on certain issues or positions. So I don't know how to put it, but a classical example was Kojo Preko. You see, because of his thoughts and what he's done, right? Putting him there would mean that he thinks it should be B and not C or A. So when he's coming there, all his mindset is, I've already said B is the one that is going to work. So he would not be open to other suggestions.
Awesome.
That is why I want us to go outside the normal creatives who are ordinarily always involved in these discussions and pick people who would be open to suggestions. So my thinking for choosing these two, any of them, I would have gone for Madame Theresa Ayawode. For other reasons I would have enumerated, but because I've not picked her, I would not want to do that. But I want people who are not involved in the current brouhaha. Jan Kroma should not be there. Okreku should have done that. So those people are coming with a certain mindset, with a certain prejudiced mind on what should happen, how we are going to develop the Creative Arts Agency and help it build this industry we are in. But the challenges we have faced in this industry, I believe, more of the times has to do with bringing all views together, sitting down and deciding that of all the opposing views, we've all come together. We think that this is the way forward. So we pick half of that, we pick quarter of that, put it together to form one policy or one idea and help push it. And I think if we bring anybody who is currently involved in the brouhaha over it, it would not help us. We would have people who are saying, oh, they shouldn't have done that. B, we have always said B is the one which is right. But I look at me or Ivan Kwashiga, who have not been involved in all this brouhaha. They are open to listening to ideas. They are open to listen to party A, party B, party C, idea A, idea Z, idea Y, and said, okay, listening to everything, consultative forum, we believe that let us all push just one in unison. And that is why I would want some, if not the two, someone who would bring that. I don't want somebody who is currently involved in all this kind of brouhaha to be part or to head it. It will not help. We would be back to square one.
Thank you.
Where it would be a we against them kind of mentality. And I don't think it augurs well for the Creative Arts Agency.
Thank you very much, Austin Wood. And that brings us to our concluding remarks. Let me start with you, 7. Yeah.
So I think the key word here is reset.
Reset, eh?
Yeah, that's the key word. Above everything else is reset. So does that mean that we're not bringing back old people because we want to reset? Because this has to be a whole different situation that we are into now. The sector has had so many problems in the past, and I think some people might not acknowledge it, that we are 1,000 years behind everyone else. You know, when we talk about tourism spaces, I know George A.I. praise the ex GTA boss and everything. But the thing is, almost every good tourism site that you want to go to, the roads are not good enough. There's so many other things that, you know, I would easily mark them as not good enough based on that. But like you said, you mentioned some good things that he did, you know, and I would like someone to come in and build on that. You know, definitely has to build on whatever has been done before. We definitely have something going December in GH that, you know, started gradually before they came in, and they branded. So it was there, it didn't have a name. They branded it, and it's something now. So hopefully somebody else can come in and do it bigger and better. So that's a reset.
All right.
So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Francis. 1 minute to close.
Okay, so I think that when it comes to National Theatre, I'm looking at 2 names, either Akosia Abdullah or Harvest at 17. The one who was Deputy Ambassador in Canada. Not Abiarachi. No, not Abiarachi. Edina Matachi. You know, for National Theatre.
Why don't you think they should put all like National Theatre in all the venues?
Okay.
Under.
Okay.
Creative Arts.
Yeah.
It's an agency. National Theatre is an agency.
It shouldn't be an agency, though.
No, it is.
You won't say that
it's not
exactly what they are supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot that.
Okay, so quickly, let's do this.
So, my concluding remark is for the president to look at somebody who has the ability to command that kind of, meet people and bring kind of investment, be able to market the country very well. And I hope and believe that Mr. President John Mahama will give us somebody who's a champion in that space.
Okay, thank you, Francis. JQ?
Tourism is a connector.
Okay.
And it's the only sector, the only ministry that connects with all other ministries. If you go to a tourist site that doesn't have a health institution close by and anything happens to you, that mars the experience. Like Seven just mentioned, if the access is terrible, it mars the experience. If all other things do not work well, it doesn't matter how beautiful or how exciting the site is, the experience will be mad. That is why it is key to get somebody who has the experience, who can lobby other people, who can connect with all other sectors to give the sector exactly what it needs. And that is why some of the names we've mentioned have come up. It is not just because you are a person who belongs to the sector, you're in the industry. There is a lot more to it than just being a member of this industry. So.
Thank you, George Quay. Jesse?
The mandate is that of the president. He's the one that people have expectations of. The ministers are vehicles through which the objective will be achieved. So whoever the president chooses to deliver, the person's job is to deliver that mandate. And like I said, in making that decision, it's clearly stated. There are 3 things. And if you read it and you fit it, apply for it. When you get a job, do a good job.
All right, thank you very much. Joe 99.7 FM, it's been great having you right here on Showbiz A to Z. And today we took a look at who becomes Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts. There have been some names: Jafar Blanco Mashi, Baba Sadiq, Rexomar, John Dumelo, Kojo Bonsu. On the tourism side, GTA, Kojo Bonsu, Akwesi Ajiman. Austin says Akwesi Ajiman should be retained. Abeku Santana, Creative Art Agency, we've had names like Baba Sadiq, Kojo Prekodankwa, Rexomar, Ivan Kwashiga, Ni Aiti Hamon, among others. Thank you so much for tuning in to Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM. In the meantime, tomorrow is a Sunday, and I'll be coming your way with Pentecost Hour. exactly 1:30 p.m. On Mondays happens on Hit FM at 5:30 a.m. And then on Saturdays, Joy Prime TV at 7 a.m. So tune in every Sunday, Monday, Saturday as Apostle Eric Nyamecha brings you live transforming truth that nourishes the soul, ignites passion, and restores hope in the nations. Church of Pentecost, we are possessing the nations for the Lord. Thank you very much for listening to Showbiz A to Z. We are back. I told you earlier on, we're back this year with a triple dose of what we gave you last year. Show brought to you by MTN Everywhere You Go Superstar Multi-Food Drink. And this show was produced by Philip and I, supported by Anita Tay, Olivier Fangnan, DJ Wubate. My name is Kwame Dadzie. See you next week.